Have you ever been down a lot of material in a chess game? Then this is for you. Because sometimes, even though you are a lot of material down, you have the chance of setting up a fortress. A fortress is a position where one side is down a lot of material but hopes that his position will be unbreakable and the opponent, despite his material advantage, will not be able to make any real or meaningful progress. So the position I want to show you today is this one. White is a queen down for a rook and a pawn, and there are still a lot of pawns on the board. And what white is saying is you cannot make any progress here. And if this is true or not, we will see in the process, and you will learn a lot about how to approach fortresses or seemingly fortresses and to make finally some steps into the right direction to put the maximum pressure on your opponent. So what white is saying is, okay, I'm material down, but what do you ever want to attack? My rook is guarding the weakest pawn in the chain, while the rook itself is also guarded, and also the king cannot join to play for a checkmate. So that might look very much like a fortress at first sight, because like, how should black bring the king? If it trade the pawn, still cannot bring the king, because the rook can still like cut the king off on the 5th rank. The king can never join the upper half of the board, and so what to do? And that's the first thing you should learn about fortresses or seemingly fortresses, is that they might look very solid, but actually they break. And often fortresses break not in many ways, but in just exactly one way. And one of the key concepts to break a fortress is Zugzwang. And yeah, we will see this in action here a lot. So black plays for Zugzwang, trying to force white to make a move he doesn't like to make. For example, imagine white is in Zugzwang, he needs to make a move. He has an ideal position, but needs to move the rook away from his perfect square where it's protected and protecting the weakest pawn. So that's the key concept which we need to have in mind as a winning idea, that we might force him to make a move which he doesn't want to make. And that's a way in which many fortresses break. And we will see this principle in action because it's a bit abstract, but once you've seen it, you will understand it, and you will have this as a winning concept in your endgame conversion weapons, and this will make you a lot stronger. So let's see what black did. Black first brought the queen a bit closer, also eyeing some squares, trying to invade on g1. So after queen e3, white decided not to let the black queen in. Black gave no check, but played queen e1, which is kind of a Zugzwang, because now the king or the rook need to leave their best square. And in the game, white decided to go rook to f8. Black gave a check. Now the king cannot go to g3. Due to this check on d6. And if the king went to h3, we can apply some Zugzwang, because now the king is cut, has no squares available, and after rook to f5, we will see that quickly. There might be king to g8, and now the rook has just this f4 square, and after that we will play pawn to g5, which is very similar to what we will see in the main line. Again, here black is making progress, white is running more or less out of moves, and here black will finally break the position open and reach a theoretically winning position. Also after rook f4, black can use this pawn break, as it would either let the black king activate and play for h5, or in the event of rook f7 check, king g8, rook f5, queen f1 check, king g7, king g3, queen g1, king h3, queen to f2. White is finally in Zugzwang, and this happened because this pawn on g5 is taking away the last square for the rook. So now this fortress is obviously breaking because white will not lose only one pawn but even two pawns, and that's of course way too much. So instead in the game white tried to play king to f1, not trying to be closed in and be in Zugzwang, but black found a very nice idea, queen to h2, and now the white king ran away, and after king to d1, which was the game, yeah, white could have lost in a very instructive way. Queen f2, rook f4, king g8, taking away squares of the rook. Rook f5, only move. g6, the king will pick up this pawn anyway, and after king c1, king g6, king b1, black liquidated all the white pawns, which is good enough to win the game. But if white defended very well here, he could have played king c2, and black still needed to show some technique to beat this rook, which is of course theoretically winning, but he will not win the rook immediately, but needs to show his technique. Instead, there was another nice way breaking the position after king b1 with some Zugzwang idea, which is queen to d2. Now either the rook needs to leave his perfect square. On f8 it will be inevitably lost after an immediate check, and if it goes anywhere else, the f3 pawn will drop and the g4 pawn will drop, and then black has an extra pawn, and queen and pawn win easily against the rook. So what white needed to do is something like king a1, but again Zugzwang, and the rook needs to leave his best position. Also note there is not any chance of a stalemate, even though the king is in the corner closed in, but white will not get rid of all his pieces at once. Any tries, they just don't work. I can take with the pawn, and after this I have a check, letting the white king out again. So no hope there. Instead, this h5 also won the game, but it was less clean. But yeah, nonetheless, black won. In the game there followed king b2, and here the rook is more or less lost as it finds no safe spot. Also b5 is not a safe spot. Also a5 is not a safe spot. Also not this one is a safe spot. So here the position of the king is just a bit unlucky, and white resigned immediately after that. So what do we learn about fortresses? In general, they might look solid, and you might not grasp at first sight what is the winning plan, because everything seems well defended. But even though everything is well defended, at a certain stage it doesn't have to stay like that. And one key principle to make things deteriorate for your opponent is to put him into Zugzwang, so that his pieces need to leave their perfect defending positions, their perfect harmony, and then you can find spots which might be targeted. Also always consider your pawn breaks. I think this g5 move was a crucial idea in all those positions, because it widens the scope of the black king, and in some instances also takes away some crucial squares for the rook. So that's it for this video on fortresses. So of course the position was not a fortress, but it was close to it, and after watching this you should have some ideas how to break fortresses and how to play against possible fortresses in general. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.